Every Wednesday we get social with Emma Sadler. Emma Sadler is out of town and her cell phone signal is shocking, but we needed to have this conversation anyway. Please welcome to Fresh at 5, Brands Eye CEO, JP Kloppers. They predicted the outcome of Brexit. The whole damn thing. Good morning, JP. How are you doing?
Morning, Fresh. Great.
Welcome to Fresh at 5, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A quick JP Kloppers 101. In 30 seconds, who are you, where are you from, what do you do?
Well, I grew up in Natal, studied engineering, but now run a tech firm where we try and measure the hearts of people through what they're saying on social media. And that's us.
Is tech the way to go? I've got a friend, his daughter is 12, and on Saturdays she goes for coding classes because he believes that's where the world is going.
Definitely. Look, I think a combination of being able to understand machines and understand humans is where the future lies. You know, so any combination of those things, I think you're set for the future.
What is Brands Eye? What do you guys do there?
So we specialize in media analytics. We plug into the big platforms around the world, and then in these sort of millions of unsolicited, free-form conversations that happen, we try and surface how do people feel and why do they feel the way that they feel.
So if any of the participants in Brexit had subscribed to Brands Eye, they would have known the outcome.
I think they would have had an indication that it was going to be a surprise. I think that's what we're not experts in politics, but we are experts in social media.
Yes.
And what surprised us was that it was contrary to what everybody was saying in the polls. That actually the Leave campaign was much bigger than everyone thought.
So how did you arrive at this prediction, this outcome?
We use a crowdsourcing methodology where we actually pass data through real people. And these people then train our machines on how to interpret the rest of the data. So we can get to kind of the nuance and the sarcasm. And when somebody says, I'm voting Remain because David Beckham says I should, you know that person's being sarcastic.
Yes.
And so we can do that en masse across, multiple languages around the world in different countries. And so in the UK, we used real people to understand what is somebody actually saying. Are they going to vote Leave or are they going to vote Remain? And across thousands and thousands of samples, we saw, 60% of people are saying before the elections that they're going to vote Leave. And that was shocking to us.
22 minutes after 7, we're chatting to JP Kloppers. He's the Brands Eye CEO. They predicted the outcome of Brexit, and we're trying to find out how they make this magic happen. In fact, how does social media influence public sentiment?
I think it happens in two ways. I think it's both a read and an influence. I think what everybody underestimated in the UK, and it looks that it's that way in the US as well, is just this sort of silent majority. What does the person on the street actually feel? Not what do they say they're going to do. And I think that's in an election. It's more about the heart than the mind. Because we saw it in the UK. They brought out every argument in the book as to rationally why they should remain. And yet people came out and said, I'd rather choose an uncertain future than a safe future. And that no one saw coming, And social media, I think it gives the sort of populist voice that it's okay to feel that way.
Sure.
Because you see other people saying the same thing. And that wasn't true 10 years ago.
In fact, I was going to say, would you say social media is the voice of the silent majority, as it were?
Look, I want to believe that. And certainly we're seeing indications of it.
Yeah.
You just don't know. But in the UK, it was 500,000 people that we were listening to. That's a lot of people that are talking.
Sure.
It's much bigger than, a sample you'd get from a survey.
Now, America going to elections, we are going to elections. What are you guys picking up from all your analytics?
I think in SA it's going to be interesting. We are tracking the local elections and we'll be kind of looking at the key cities that are being contested.
Sure.
And in the US as well. I think there are those 11 swing states where the election is going to be decided. So seeing as we get closer to November, what's driving sentiment in those states? Is it healthcare? Is it immigration? Is it job creation? And how do people feel about those things? I think that's going to be interesting, and we're trying to get to some of the political parties to help them understand that. But I think if they can craft their message where it's not just a good idea, but it actually reaches the heart. And that's what's dangerous about Donald Trump is he gets to the heart of a person, and he's playing on the emotion rather than the rational decision that someone's going to make.
Exactly. He's saying things a lot of people might think about but are scared to say.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the UK, the fact that what is the EU was the most Googled term from the UK after the referendum.
After the fact.
And I think that's the same in the US. 2/3 of the US didn't know what Brexit was until after it happened.
Yeah.
And so you've got this big silent majority there also who kind of being fed this stuff, and who knows what they're going to vote in the kind of quietness of the voting booth, whether they will go for the safe future or the uncertain future. I think that's all going to depend on leadership, and that's where Hillary's going to need to kind of maybe move her tone from rational to emotive, and that's not her natural style.
At all.
No.
Now, JP, before we let you go, so are you saying using the same methodology you used to predict the outcome of Brexit, you'd be able to predict the swing provinces and municipalities in SA and the swing states in the States in November?
I think in the swing states, certainly. In SA, we also have the silent majority. They're far less active on social media, though.
Exactly.
So that's where I'm not sure. We're gonna give it a good go, but there might just not be enough data. But if you buy into the premise that how someone feels today influences what they're going to do tomorrow, I think as long as there's data on measuring how they feel, I think you can make very good, informed decisions about what you need to do to prepare for the tomorrow.
JP Kloppers, Brands Eye CEO, thank you for the insights. Is there a website people can check out for you guys?
Brandseye.com.
Brandseye.com. JP, thank you very much, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, Fresh.
JP Kloppers, Brands Eye CEO, brandseye.com.